What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode, another edition, the hotly contested, widely loved, and acclaimed. That's right, it's C2C Radio Show, Corner to Corner, is back right here on C2CRadioshow.com, through Spreaker.com, Amazon, Spotify, Apple iTunes, of course, and all places in between. It is a interesting Royal Rumble Monday. And I'm Stan Grubb with my tag team partners. Rob Hefner is here.
I am.
And Brian Taylor is here.
Man, I don't know if they deserve me today.
Ooh, that's not nice. They don't deserve you.
I mean, I want to know what they're contesting anyway. I mean, if you're saying that it's a highly contested show,
Hey,
then I don't know what they're doing.
You say controversial things. The FCC won't let you be.
That's right. And what's her name? What was it? Somebody's husband in the song? Miss Cheney.
Oh, yeah, right,
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like she's got other things to worry about, like, I don't know, politics things.
That would be funny if you got a knock on the door tomorrow.
Some dude in a black suit.
Yeah.
Mr. Grubb,
flashes of paper. Miss Cheney would like you to shut up.
It wasn't me. You was the guy. He's not in this town. He's in the other town.
No, sir. By our records, you are the sole proprietor of this operation.
Crap. I don't know who you are. Prank caller. Click.
FBI won't let me be either.
Let me out.
Nobody but me.
Wow. Emotional, exciting, fun week this past week. We started off last week talking about how the world would handle a potential tribute show to Jay Briscoe, and we got a real good glimpse of it. I have not seen the show yet, the actual tribute show should be on YouTube and Honor Club, but AEW did put together the Jay Briscoe tribute. And we got to watch on Dynamite Mark Briscoe against Jay Lethal. So very few matches have ever brought me to tears. I can maybe count them on one hand, maybe even two fingers. I can't even think of emotional moments of wrestling from that regard. And it wasn't actually from a match, but this one did. Watching this from start to finish, you see Jay Lethal come out. He's already just a mess getting to the ring. Briscoe's music hit. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm tracking you.
Okay.
I thought you said something. That was my mistake.
Briscoe's music hit, and the next thing I know, it is it's tears. I mean, my wife and I are sitting there watching, and you know that Caprice Coleman, Excalibur, you could hear it in his voice. Riccaboni, you could hear it with him. Man, it was literally the toughest main event I've ever watched in my life, and not because it was a bad match. It was actually a very, very good match. But I've never watched something as emotional as that in professional wrestling ever. I don't know that I'll ever see anything ever that emotional either. I don't know what you guys thought, but it was a tough watch for a lot of reasons, but I am glad that I did it. Just definitely hard to do. Whoever wants to go first, your thoughts on Briscoe and Lethal?
I mean, I think it was a great nod to the history and to the legacy that is, Jay. And I mean, people were saying, oh, why would they do that? Why would they do that? But then, you read that they requested it,
Yeah.
That they wanted it. And the fact that they gave it the spot they did on the show, the time they gave it, and you could tell the emotion running through the whole thing, and when he held up both tag titles, that's what got me. It was like, oh, wait a minute, they didn't come out and say, all right, well, he's not the champ anymore. He took the belts down there and he's like, but yeah, I will say goosebump moments, hell, and just the match itself. If you take the emotion out of it, the match itself was match of the year quality. Just he has a damn good career ahead of him. If he chooses to keep wrestling without his brother. But whatever he decides, he's gone out on his terms. You know what I mean? And awesome match.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I had that thought as well. If in fact we're going to see Mark Briscoe more in AEW, it sounds like we will. Warner Discovery has basically come out and said that they would allow it going forward. Brian, I mean, how did you feel watching this main event?
I don't know if I watched it really with any added feeling. Mine was the numbness for me, and everything was the week before.
Yeah.
I'm glad that. Well, in a way, I guess it sucks that you had to have this tragedy for Mark to finally, get a wrestling match on. I guess you'd call it more of a national company.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have said what y'all have said about the match, and I kind of go along with most of that. My problem is, these jackasses that run the companies and who, completely missed such an opportunity. And then you have other little jackasses like Smeltzer. I think it was that day with he'll never be on AEW TV, or the day before, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Once again he gets it wrong, and sometimes you just gotta learn to just enough's enough. Just shut your mouth. Let's see what happens, and let's go with it. I am curious what happens with the tag titles, and hopefully, I do hope that at least Mark can be signed to AEW, not ROH. Although it's an interesting thought that Mark could, as a singles competitor, get the world title now.
And with his
Certainly
history
has
with
the ability.
ROH, would be amazing,
Mm-hmm. Wow, what is that?
What?
Whatever the noise is in the background.
Oh, who knows? So I'm sure they'll turn it down in a second, so we don't get copyright infringement or some cease and desist over having whatever that is up too loud.
It's a
Turn
very
that down
dramatic music, whatever the
Or
hell
we
it
get in
is.
trouble.
Very dramatic.
No, it's what's that stupid? What's that show y'all watching? Katniss Everdeen. The Hunger Games. Yeah, that's what.
Hunger Games.
Doesn't Warner Brothers own that?
Oh yeah. We don't want any heat from Warner Discovery.
Yeah,
they can
really.
keep us off of everything.
Consider what I just said. Let's not get in trouble with that.
We just watched part of that this right before I got on here.
I will say though, out of everything, it was this past couple weeks. It was more interesting to hear from people that you just weren't sure you'd hear about from, like Cornette. Cornette had a very interesting, little spot on his show about Warner Brothers not taking the Briscoes and putting them on TV and stuff like that. So.
Mm-hmm. Nothing unites a community more than someone being disrespected, whether it's in his life or in his death. And I noticed that. I mean, everybody from Cornette to Russo to Bischoff to Shivani, of course Shivani's going to respect it, you know what I mean? But literally everyone is out there talking about you've got to put these guys on TV. Jay Briscoe, yeah, he did tweet what he did, but it was a lifetime ago almost, man. I mean, it's in the society that we're in right now and the cancel culture that we witness so often. It's like a guy can't change. Like he's not allowed to grow and change and heal from what he's done in the past. So they put this edict out there. The Briscoes aren't going to be on AEW. Okay, fine. So we now find out that after he's died, how much he's done for his entire family and community. It wasn't just a guy that was a pro wrestler. It wasn't just a guy that was tweeting out stupid stuff back in the day. This is a man who contributed to society in so many different positive ways that literally the entire wrestling world is like, hello, Warner, your guys are stupid. Put them on television. And it takes his passing to finally get him on TV, which is
well,
a
not
damn
only
shame.
that, but like in Delaware, the town, it escapes me right now, but then they like shut the whole town down.
Yeah, basically the whole
Close
town of
schools and
Sandy Hook.
everything.
Yeah, Sandy Hook basically closes down. A person's reputation is measured by the legacy he leaves behind, and if the fact that they couldn't do just a funeral, no, they had to do an entire high school gymnasium for people to celebrate his life in the local area, friends and family. I mean, if that doesn't speak to what he left behind and the legacy that he created, I don't know what does.
Yet they keep Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's irritating.
So.
And that guy broke into people's houses and freaking held them at gunpoint. I mean, we're not talking about a guy that just said, "Hey, screw you guys, I'm smoking pot today." No, he's breaking into houses.
Yeah.
No, didn't he like kidnap a girl or something? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like driving around with somebody, you're not getting out of my car. What the hell? But he's the Flash. He's a superhero. He's gonna have a movie come out here soon, and all's gonna be forgiven in the world of the media.
Mm-hmm.
But other people have done less and been written out of what?
Yeah.
You know?
These companies should really understand that there's just certain things that you really shouldn't mess with if you're not familiar with if you're really not familiar with it. So like, wrestling or comics. I mean, there are certain things you shouldn't dabble in. You should be like, let's just give the creepy little marks what they want, and we'll leave them alone, and they'll make us money.
Yeah, we live in a world of
time again.
We live in a world of inclusion now, and hey, I'm usually the guy that's like, hey, that's okay, that's a good thing. But there's times where it's really not. There's times where it's really like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. And I'm not, we have a few rules on here. We avoid politics and all of that, and I'm not trying to go too deep in the weeds, but there's a time where it just doesn't make any damn sense to start simply because it's what the world demands, which is stupid. And that's what Warner Discovery did. Essentially, they bent to the will of people that were offended, 10 years ago, 12 years ago? And I get it. It was bad, but it's done. I mean, Roseanne Barr was fired from a television show for saying what many people considered to be racist comments and insensitive comments. So should she not be able to come back and clean her image up? Will Smith smacks Chris Rock for talking trash about his wife, a fact that many people actually saluted, myself included. But suddenly he's blacklisted from the Oscars. Again, not to go too deep in the rabbit hole here, but that's an example
never
of just stuff that doesn't have to
until
happen.
now. He has a movie coming out that he wanted an Oscar for. Now he's like, I'm sorry.
Right. Only because the world basically forced him. and maybe his wife. Maybe his
Well, I
wife.
mean,
First.
if you like not to get in the weed, like if you get into cancel culture, it's all in who does it serve,
Right.
right? Does it serve the pockets of the people, the fans, to cancel these people and hide them, or is it gonna cancel more of, you know, like Ezra Miller? Okay, if you're gonna cancel him as the Flash, now you have to take this multi-million-dollar movie and reshoot it with somebody else, you know. And those at DC and all are like, whoa, wait a minute, okay, we're just gonna like, we've got too much money invested in this. Now, if they would have done what's right, which they've done with all kinds of other shit, they would have said, you know what, no amount of money means this. This guy has hurt too many people. He's not a good image for us. Let's just redo it.
Right.
You know, like was watching on the news how they can do AI and all kinds of stuff. Like you could basically redo the movie and just put somebody else's face on him at this point with technology. But you know, it doesn't serve them to say anything. That they're just like, oh, we'll let the legal world say what it is. And you know, in times when you should just take a step back and acknowledge the history and acknowledge the what is going on, you know, like, you know, I kind of say like when we want to Wikipedia what we want and, you know, make it the version we want it to make it, no matter what you're at, you know, oh, well, I want this. This is what I want to be said. This is the narrative. Well, then how are we any different?
Yeah.
You know, it's like wrestling is wrestling. And there are so many wrestlers that have done so many things that you're like, okay, or involved in so many things. I mean, you look at Lacey Evans today. You know, is she playing a part? Is she doing? Is it all a shoot, or is she just a horrible person? You know, like
Right. Right.
you know. But they're not going to be like, oh, we're pulling him or pull him out. No, they just go about their day. You know, he said what he said. You know, whatever. Honor the man and what he did, like what he stood for. Not okay. This is his mistake on 10 years ago.
Well, there's tons of iconic people in the world that have done countless things that are so much worse, and it's good that Warner Discovery is learning and has made the change. And don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, and I feel like Mark Briscoe could do very well in Ring of Honor on his own. He could do very well in AEW on his own if he so chooses. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. He hasn't really made a lot of public statements. For the fans, out there, and for myself and for you guys, I'm sure we'd all like to see him be successful and continue, but I would totally understand if he decided to step away. I mean, he started this with his brother. He said in a video kind of interview stream that he did with Caprice Coleman that, he wasn't sure, but he did want to kind of see it keep going. So for his sake, I hope he does.
Well, I also think that, there gets to be a point in someone's life and their career that, luckily for some people in their careers, that they don't have to do it for the money.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly believe the Briscoes, yes, they were kind of like, ooh, do we want any, debate WWE or those like, oh, do we want to touch them right now or whatever, right? But if you think how many, like, also, did they ever want to go to the WWE? Were they like, you know what? We're doing just fine. We're being able to control our narrative. We do what our own. Didn't mean to say that. Sorry. Control our destiny.
Careful with that narrative speak.
But, I mean, that's just the thing, like when I was doing plays, I always asked the question of people like, all right, would you want to be in one mega blockbuster or have a whole career making B movies? And I always said I'd like to make a career of B movies, because at least you have a steady income coming in. That's before the days of Comic Cons where you could take one moment and be like, yes. It's like I want to be in one Star Wars thing one time so I can be Stormtrooper 62859 of episode 17 or some shit.
Well, with the most recent trilogy, we had a lot of different A-list actors that did like Stormtrooper roles just so they could say they were in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, freaking Daniel Craig, James Bond, basically took a Stormtrooper role just so he could say, yeah, I was in that. Which I think is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I know that the Honor Club edition of the Briscoe tribute and I don't say version, that's not the right way to say it. The Honor Club site and YouTube both will have the Briscoe tribute show in its entirety. I haven't seen it on YouTube yet, but I had heard that it was up on our Honor Club already. Brian, did you say that it was or was not?
I'm pretty sure it's up. Let me look though, because I know. Oh, Touch ID. Yep, it's on. Let's see here. Jay Briscoe tribute and celebration of life. Let's see if the show is on.
3 hours, 5 minutes, 37 seconds.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of videos. Let's see if it's on.
Dang.
I'm just kind of scrubbing through. Yeah, there is.
3 hours.
Wow, that's a hell of a show.
But it looks like it's mixed in. That Madison Rain versus. Sure enough, okay. Looks like they have other like ROH matches in there too. So you might, I don't know how it's broken down, but I'm looking at a lot of ROH stuff as well. Some testimonials.
Yeah, I see. Just kind of scrubbing through. Prince Nana's got one. Looks like Samoa Joe's got one.
Looks like there's a Jay Briscoe Adam Cole match. Marina Shafir versus. Oh, I don't know, but I don't know who that is. Not a good look for her. Could have fallen on her head. Daniels, Stokely. Yeah, it's on there. So I'll have to check it out later.
Yep, I'll be watching that at some point this week. Maybe have it on half on mute while I'm working or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if anybody from work is listening, they didn't hear me say that.
I think the other day when I flicked it on, it had the vignette from the Wednesday he passed.
Oh, wow.
I think that was when it was.
Well, that was a tough
maybe
watch,
it was last
too.
week.
That little 3-minute video they did.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a tough watch, too.
Yeah, they had that on there, and that's why. I think I might have thought that was what was on there at the time. So, if that makes sense.
So, of course, the Royal Rumble was Saturday. We got a lot of different ground to cover with that, so I figured we'd go ahead and just kind of dive through it.
Meh.
No, sir. No, you've got a lot to answer for.
Meh.
Making your official return to WWE viewership. That's right.
I did. I watched it.
There was no pre-show match. We appreciate that. Thank you. There was no pre-show match, but before the Rumble began, before the show began, we got the return to the commentary table of Pat McAfee, which apparently was legitimately a rib on Michael Cole. Apparently, they actually let him believe that McAfee wasn't going to be there. So what we heard on television was legitimately Michael Cole's reaction. If that's
so,
the case, Michael Cole.
Yeah, like that was without a doubt some of the worst commentating ever.
Yeah.
And
It said during the show that it seemed Pat had some adult beverages. I would agree.
Oh, he was drunk before he came out there. I mean, they didn't shy away from the Bang Brothers.
Yeah, he was on that a little bit much. Like he's like, all right, buddy, it's done. Let's keep it moving.
well, so I mean, again, throughout the whole night, that clearly had to be Vince McMahon pulling that string.
Mm-hmm.
Pat McAfee and Corey Graves together are without a doubt comprise the worst announced team ever. I don't give a crap what somebody says. They're awful. And if you don't believe me, all you have to do is pay attention to the women's rumble when what's her name came out. Was Dewdrop. Piper Niven.
Piper Niven, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And listen to the way they poke fun of that name.
Oh, she's
for the
due.
majority of the match. And
She's
then
due.
yeah. But it's never Piper. It's always Piper Niven. And at first they were being like fucking jackasses about it.
Wow.
And I guess one was feeding off the other one. And it was like, y'all have got to be about the dumbest people I've fucking heard. And it's no wonder people are turning off the TV. That was one of my problems. They are without a doubt two of the worst commentators ever.
Oh yeah, they kept playing like when they brought her out, and they're like, "Oh look, she's finally due. She's gonna drop anybody."
It's Piper Niven, and she would just be like climbing in the ring. It's Piper Niven. It's like, dude. And then, she would do something. It's Piper Niven. And I was like, shut up.
And then later on, they're like, Piper Niven is still there.
Yeah, I was like. And again, that to me, that's one of the easier ones I can pick up on.
Right.
But the ones both of them have absolutely no business whatsoever being commentators. Because I think even Shane was like, oh, I need to turn this off. Or I cut the TV down, I turned the TV down or something.
Well, and it's proof positive that when you have two color commentators and one play-by-play, it just doesn't work.
What?
Like, Corey's trying to riff off of Cole, and then McAfee tries to throw one in there, and then Cole's just like, he's looking around, like, not knowing who he's supposed to respond to first. It was just messy, and it wasn't funny either.
So what makes it messy is that Corey Graves thinks he's a heel. And Pat McAfee, because he knows no better, acts like a heel. Right?
Agreed.
And then you have Michael Cole try to compete with two heel color commentators, and neither one of them are any good. Like, we're not talking like Bobby Heenan. You know what I'm saying? Or Jerry Lawler, who will actually pitch your softballs. I mean, these two are more worried about going into business for themselves and just saying whatever comes through their minds. And to me, that's why it doesn't work.
I agree. I mean, people talk a lot about AEW's referees, and Aubrey Edwards, for an example, saying that she goes into business for herself to make a spectacle. I completely disagree. I think she's just part of the show. But when you look at the commentators for WWE, all of them, except for who's that English guy that's on Raw? I don't know. He's not very good. But they all sit there and try so hard to make themselves the star. And even we love him, but even Morrow did it a little bit. It's like, come on, man. Someone has to sit there and tell them, can we please just focus on what's on the television, please? You've got a monitor for a reason, for crying out loud. I get that everybody's happy that Triple H is running creative, but for Christ's sake, just call the damn action. It's not it is a hard job, but it's not that hard to focus on what's in front of you.
Well, like you all said, I mean, they're making a name for themselves, so they're trying to get their shtick in. You know,
Right.
it's just like when Excalibur has to say, "Don't face Opusade" or whatever the fuck he says all every 5 fucking minutes. You know, but like the problem with Graves and McAfee is they neither one of them have any cred in the business to do what Bobby Heenan did.
Right.
You know, like Bobby Heenan, Jesse Ventura, you know, like they were the way they were. Jerry Lawler were the way they were because of what they've already established.
Right,
You know?
because of who they were before they got to that desk.
Right. Pat McAfee comes across as a pompous ass mark who has an ego the size of the arena and is like, ooh, look at me. And who better to give him that than Vince McMahon, who has an ego twice as big? And so you put him in there, and you got Corey Graves, who, no offense to his medical condition, like his concussions, never achieved but mediocre as a wrestler. You know, he achieved mediocre mid card, and then he got hurt and that sucks. But
right,
to stand there and talk like an expert, like I would never, like in the limited commentary that I've done in wrestling, I would never try to say or come across as an expert in the field. Because there are guys out there that we know that we've worked with that have forgotten more than I'll ever know. You know,
right.
like, so you go out and you have fun. You call it like it is. But Brian and you all hit it on the head with it's just they're self-serving.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be you were there for the product and to make the match. And Royal Rumble got just to be like two jackasses who are trying to, you know, when you're at with a group of friends and a couple of them have had too much to drink and they just keep running their mouth and it makes it awkward for everyone. You know, it's like, okay, here we go. Oh, you know, the only thing missing was the mama jokes.
Yeah.
Can you put on Raw for me? Yeah. Turn it up just a little. Well, and
Brian, if you're
so,
curious, you haven't missed anything except a lot of pointing to the sign.
Oh well, yeah, that's typical, right? But I mean, just look at like the Michelle McCool spot, right?
Right.
They show her earlier in the night, and she's kind of, you know, she's in the same pose when her numbers draw in the Rumble, and then, you know, the two dipshits are trying to pass it off like, oh, she didn't know, she had no clue until her music hit that she was in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. It would have been better served if you had tried to pass off that was her plan all along.
Right. She was sitting out there looking at the competition.
Yeah. Something. Oh yeah. She just didn't want to run down she didn't want to run that way today. She wanted to sit down there and hop over the rail or something. Oh yeah. She had no clue. She had no clue her number was being drawn. Till the music hit. Shut up. We're way past you insult my intelligence. Because there's not even a kid that's going to buy that.
Right.
Anyway, let's start this review so I can turn the TV off again.
I just hope that Rhea Ripley drops Dom and like she can go out her own and show them what, like, you know.
Mm.
Well, I mean, it's a matter of time, but I think she'll be the one that does break out of Judgment Day first as the star. I mean, Finn will be fine wherever he goes. I feel like Damian Priest, if he, depending on what happens, probably with them after Mania, when his contract is up, I could see him easily going back to Punishment Martinez and Ring of Honor. As far as Dom, I mean, it seemed to me like they were building for a match with him and Ray, but apparently Ray's hurt.
Well,
So yeah,
he's
I'd
this
agree with you.
generation's David Flair. So
Hey,
All right.
David Flair walked so that Dom could run.
Listen, all I know is Rhea Ripley is like a Dom Dominatrix.
Right.
You see what I did?
I
Dom.
see, buddy, but
You see what I did
picking
there?
up what you putting down there. That's pretty good.
Aye,
let's-
misters.
Oh, speak of the devil, look who's on TV.
Yep. She's getting ready to tell us what her decision is. Who's gonna be who she faces? I wonder. Actually, I really don't wonder.
Oh, Charlotte. She put her in her place. She's going for Charlotte. Yep, told you. See how that works?
Wow.
I don't even
Okay.
have to have a podcast saying that my predictions are right to know that one.
Wow. Podcast predictions, huh? Podcast predictions?
Yeah, whatever type of show he's got. What he's got a pod. What has he got? Podcast or what would you call it? Podcast?
Who are you talking about?
Smeltzer.
Oh, geez. Yeah, well, him and
Yeah.
Alvarez do it. Everybody does it now. It's all part of everybody's shtick.
Well, we're gonna start doing it. I'm gonna keep track of how many times I'm right, and then we're just gonna see, just like that. I'm 100% tonight on a prediction that she was picking Charlotte Flair.
Well done, sir. Bravo.
Yep. So
here you go. I'm clapping for you. There you go, buddy.
You can now call my 1-800 number, and for the simple fee of $3.99 a minute, I will give you my predictions of the WrestleMania card and who's going to win. That's how it starts.
Wow. Okay. Hey, can we just get your autograph before you start your rise to fame?
No.
Oh,
I need some lackeys to print off the news article or the newspaper that we're going to start printing on a weekly basis.
Yes. We'll mail it out. Are you going to cover shipping?
No, that's on them.
Oh, okay. $5.99 plus shipping. You too can have the news.
And we're not doing digital copies. We're going old school so we can get shipping and handling out of them.
Yeah.
That's how we do it, mofos.
So the Royal Rumble started actually with the men's Royal Rumble, which I thought was a smart move because as we would get to the main event, I thought it was really intelligent to not confuse things because there were going to be two parallel storylines that they were trying to tell to us. The men's Royal Rumble, of course, the story is Cody's quest, right? But it would be a pretty good amount of time before we finally see Cody come out to the ring. As a matter of fact, we start off with Gunther and Sheamus, which, hey, Gunther is a star. He's that guy. He could easily, if they do this right, easily be, and I don't know who said it in the chat during the show, but he could easily be next in line for a WWE title shot after Mania.
Well, if they go forward and separate the titles again, then there's more to play with, you know?
Mm-hmm. So let's see here. Notables. Kofi Kingston. So it's time to stop trying to do the, you got me out. Oh, nope. No, you didn't. Because twice in a row, 2 years in a row, poor Kofi has bit the dust. Last year it was going face first into the rail and then his feet hitting the deck before he could really get his bearings. This year he was supposed to land on an office chair, and instead just the chair collapses and he goes face first into the desk, wiping out.
I think it's the velocity he was thrown.
Oh man, and he was launched, so let's make no mistake about it. He went flying. It was a mess. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, he might have. That's the reason he didn't get up.
Yeah.
Because even Corey Graves said, I don't think his other foot touched the floor. I don't think his foot touched the floor. So he could still be in. And then they just went then Brock came in and everybody's like, never mind.
But doesn't it only take 1 foot?
No, it's both. It's supposed to be both.
So wait a second. So how long has that been in play? Because I'll tell you what I would do.
95?
If I was thrown over the rope I would make sure that I would keep 1 foot off the ground and hop around until I could get back in the ring.
Well, I remember Shawn Michaels did it one year where he like had 1 foot, then 1 foot was up, then the other foot came down, and so like neither one was down at the same time, and they're like, both feet haven't touched the floor, he can get back in.
Yeah, that's dumb as hell shit. That's such a technicality. I hope somebody does it next year.
Well, they've tried the hop on 1 foot thing before. Lawler did it. Michael Cole did it. Santino tried to do it. I want to say maybe even Kofi did it one year.
I think Kofi did it where they put they put stuff down so he didn't touch the ground or whatever.
Pancakes, yeah, they did the pancake gimmick. Yeah, you're right. That was pretty dumb. Yeah, it was stupid. But they did. You're right. Graves did try to sell it and say, no, his foot's up. But everybody forgets because the next person to come down to the ring is Brock Lesnar. I think a lot of people, when they were doing their predictions, were thinking that we were going to take the Vince turn and see Brock.
Wait, does that turn around? What I think it says?
SmackDown in DC.
Tickets available this Friday, 12/16.
Hey, wait. Oh, that can't be right.
Friday, March. Yeah, it said Friday. Tickets available next Friday, December 16th. Damn.
Are tickets TV not selling well?
the art department had one job.
Yeah, really. The first show that I'm officially back, I might have would have gotten tickets, but I can't because it's almost a month and a half since they went on sale.
I'm on Ticketmaster.com, and I say this from what I'm seeing. Hard cam side, like where everybody's facing the camera the whole time, a lot of seats available. All the way from floor seats all the way back to the 417 section. 107, 105, 104, and then everything else is sold out.
Yeah, well, I'm not going.
There you go. Screw you, you missed the opportunity to get Brian in
your
building.
Triple H. You had an opportunity. You had one job. Oh, I can't wait to talk about that spot. Oh, man.
Oh, I know which one you're going to mention.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Oh, we're getting to it.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find notables within the Men's Rumble. I felt like the Men's Rumble, while it was entertaining, was predictable. There really wasn't anything startling or odd or anything very different than the weird Bray Wyatt face we just saw. We get Booker T as a surprise entrant. Nobody cared.
Well,
crowd actually went flat for Booker, in my opinion.
I don't know how I couldn't figure out how to phrase it in the chat last night.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Booker might have some lazy legs now.
Them knees hurt me walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was walking a little gingerly. That's true.
Yeah. And they're going in that weird direction that some of the rest of them, when they get older, their knees kind of go in those weird directions.
Yeah, it's almost bow-legged. Yeah.
Yeah, so now we know Booker got lazy legs.
Who got lazy legs now? 5 times. You tried to get up 5 times. No.
Don't worry. On the Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T will tell us all what's what.
So wait a second. So y'all tricked me. That's what y'all did. This is straight, some straight bunk right here. Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin, Money Corbin, whatever he's called himself, and JBL.
That's right. They're together. We did. Now you're stuck.
I'm out. Deuces.
All they had to do
short
was
return.
Take him.
I tried, man. I tried.
All they should have done with Baron Corbin is when he was on his bad luck or whatever, then been like, boom. And then it's like, all right, I'm going back to the lone wolf Baron. I don't need anybody.
Yeah.
But no, then they bring in Jackass. JBL, and
No, you had it right. You had it right.
now that was funny last week when Mike Rotunda comes in, and is like, now pay your taxes, and then takes all his
Yeah,
money.
that was pretty good.
So I guess I would venture to say JBL must be another Vince signing.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, but at the same time, part of me thinks that Triple H is also like, oh, this is great shit. Because he just
No, he can't be
this
like
is
that.
this is typical. This is very typical of like you get the Johnny Gargano matches and all of that, and then you get this. Let's show him what a real bad guy looks like. Baron's not a real bad guy. He's just bad, guy. He's just not good. And now he's going to take on Gargano. I am so screwed.
And he's going to win.
Suck. Oh, God,
But then
no,
Gargano has freaky, weirdo.
Whoa, that
What's
was
your job?
not. That's not scary at all.
What's your job, buddy? I just come out in my gloves and stare at people.
Freaking unmasked Jason Voorhees has got his back. I guess that's good.
All right. So anyway, I enjoyed the men's rumble, except for I didn't again commentary. Are you fucking stupid? And then the whole Ricochet and what's his name jumping across the ring.
That was ridiculous.
And everybody losing their shit.
This has
never happened before.
My question is, why would it?
Well, I mean,
let's fly and smack into each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Go watch a Ricochet match from Japan,
Yeah, but him and Will Ospreay, they did crazier shit than that. They just didn't jump from the apron and smash into each other.
I bet you that's not the first time that spot's been done.
Oh, no. I mean, it's been done on NXT. It's been done a lot. But because it's not, NXT's not Raw or SmackDown, is a big freaking deal. Carmelo Hayes and Ricochet did it the first time on NXT.
Yeah, but it's
not the first ever, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, it's just so crazy that people will lose their minds over a spot that they've seen before.
But it serves
That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. No, it's not. And if it is, you should stop watching wrestling.
Have a seat. Put your tickets down.
Oh, yeah. What was up with Montez Ford? Was that Montez? Who was the one in shorts? Basketball shorts.
That was Montez, yeah. I was confused by that as well. Why was he even in it? What did he really do?
The other guy was in it too, but he got eliminated earlier.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, and again, it was a predictable Rumble. We knew how it was going to end, but give them something. Like, he just dipped out. Nope, he's dipped out. So we get Brock and Gunther and Braun and Lashley on the ring at pretty much the same time, and I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. But then you start watching it, and then Austin Theory's there. I don't give a damn about Austin Theory. I never did. Dominic's there. I don't care about Dominic. I know there's a lot of people out there that probably do because he's hardened by jail, but
he's a pissant.
It's like, why? But yeah, they did have a great little sequence between Gunther and Cody to potentially have a matchup down the line. I'm sure that'll be a good one, and that'd be actually kind of cool to see. Like I said, Gunther get the title shot maybe at SummerSlam. I thought that was a smart prediction by Shane.
Yeah, but is he SmackDown or is he Raw?
He's SmackDown. He's Intercontinental Champion currently, but we all know a lot can change between now and then.
Guess that ain't happening.
Well, the fact that you put both of your lower tier champions in the Rumble instead of, having defend it.
I was convinced. We were supposed to have Lashley and Austin Theory at the Rumble, but they had done it the week prior.
Yeah, they were on Raw, but it's like, you don't build anything.
Yeah.
And we all knew that if, now granted, there was part of me that was like, all right, I expected I almost expected the Daniel Bryan kind of experience, with the, here comes the Oscar winning movie Cocaine Bear,
Stupid. And a bear crazed on cocaine. What?
When we went and saw Violent Night, that was all. We're like, what in the world? But yeah, I mean, I half expected them to be like, oh, they're going to bring out Cody at number 15 or whatever, and then have like Baron Corbin or someone eliminate him, you know?
Right.
But when he came out 30, I was like, all right, he's going to win. There's no way they're going to have Gunther throw out Cody.
I was more worried they were going to put Sammy in there and have either Cody or somebody eliminate Sammy and literally turn the crowd. No, Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn.
But to have the crowd literally turn on Cody, because that's typically what a WWE booking would do. Let's put them both in there. We'll make the fans happy, and then we're gonna have Cody dump them. Like that would have been, and I'm glad they didn't do it, but it would have been typical of what they normally do.
You know what I absolutely truly love about the way the WWE's things is, didn't Daniel Bryan? Yes, Daniel Bryan, because the other one was Bryan Danielson, right?
That's right. That's what his name was.
I'm making sure I'm using the right name. Anyway, didn't Daniel Bryan hold the record for longest?
He did. He held the record.
I'm pretty sure I just read that.
Greatest Royal Rumble ever, or whatever they called it.
Yeah. And so, for whatever reason, on this particular day, you said, F it. Augustus from Willy Wonka, go out there and stay in the ring for 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 33 seconds to eclipse, Daniel Bryan by 2 seconds. I did. I called him Augustus. Yeah.
And when half the time he looked at people and like half the time Gunther got in there, and then like the other wrestlers looked at him and they kind of gave him that look like, who the fuck are you?
What they should have done is sent Cody 1 and had Cody break his record. In the grand scheme of things right now, Gunther is not climbing much higher. Right? He's not going to set the world on fire.
Right. And they could have done that. Cody could have said, you know what? I'm back. And not only am I in the Rumble, I want to be number 1.
Yeah. I want to run the gauntlet. But no, we have Walter.
Gunther, Sphincter.
Gustus Gerbert from Willy Wonka.
You just say Sphincter?
Yeah. Not a German-sounding name, Sphincter?
Sure. Why not?
I am Gunther Sphincter.
I want to tell all of our wonderful listeners out in Germany, thank you, and that the opinions of Rob Abner are not indicating.
Well, yeah, but so unless he says it like with an angry vibe to it, it's not real German. You know what I'm saying?
And we're talking about a character that's named after who?
That's fair. That's a fair point. That's a fair point,
Stan.
We'll back that down just a smidge.
Do you want to go there, bro?
No, we're gonna go on and move on to the next match.
But one more point. That was probably the most predictable Rumble I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. That was yeah, you kind of saw it coming from the word go.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that when it comes to Rumbles, like we do with the high spots, you know what I mean? Where they're like, oh, everybody's just going to stand right there in that one corner and you got to get your move in. All right. Not everybody has to be almost eliminated in the Royal Rumble and then do the whole dramatic, I'm going to hang for my life and then I'm going to come back in. Like, not every elimination or almost elimination has to be like that. And I thought that was a repetitive thing last night, too. It's like, oh, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
the
lucky
hell
they
was
tightened the
Gargano
ropes
just
a couple
doing?
of them so fools were toweled up. They almost touched the ground anyway.
Yeah. Gargano just did some kind of crazy ass ring around the rosy thing with Corbin. I don't know what the hell that was supposed to be, but whatever.
Gargano's making him look good.
He's trying. We go from the men's Rumble to the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. LA Knight and Bray Wyatt. Some of the comments from the chat, Shane thought it was effing horrible. Sonny thought it was pretty good. I honestly thought it was all right. I mean, it was short enough to where it didn't irritate me, although the lighting was kind of an irritant. But it was cool because under the black light, you had, Bray Wyatt with the face paint. That was kind of neat. The logos, I guess it's a moth. I don't know. Anyway, it was all over the arena. We get
Holy cow!
Oh, that's
He got an axe.
What the hell?
Oh,
Oh my god, bro, that's murder. Jesus.
So while
Okay.
you're getting distracted, I actually enjoyed the ambiance. Like the whole blacklight thing. I thought that was a very cool look. Right? I don't think I've ever seen a match like that before. I thought that was very cool. But the match itself, I don't see why you ever paired LA Knight with Bray Wyatt.
That was my biggest issue with it. Was like, who does this serve? I mean, for his first match back, really? And then all it does is bury LA Knight even more. But ambiance was different. I mean, LA Knight picked the right type of gear. I mean,
At least it wasn't that annoying, really, really glaring red light that they used to do with the Fiend, because that would have really pissed me off. The black light was cool, and honestly, like I said, I mean, there's some parts that I would have liked to have seen different. I would have liked to see it a little bit more back and forth, but for what it was, I mean, it doesn't hurt LA Knight. LA Knight's gonna bounce back, and he has a pretty big ceiling for where he can go. They have really given him carte blanche for what he wants to say.
I tend to differ with that point you tried to make, because here we are with one of the most over and popular superstars we've seen in a very long time. Right? If you count when he came, when he transformed to Bray Wyatt, right? So over, right? I mean, this guy's so over you can print money, right? But through this whole thing, LA Knight to me is out of his element. Like, he's not ready to be prime time.
Okay.
He's not. I mean, there's nothing about that match that was like anything to make you look at LA Knight and be, oh, that's a superstar. None of the mic work, none of it. None of it.
and I'd have to agree with Brian. I mean, like, I think there is upside to LA Knight, but this match didn't do him any favors.
Yeah.
And the whole prelim didn't do him any favors. Like, it might have been better, I guess, if he'd have been like a little bit more kind of like Randy Orton was when Randy Orton was fighting with Bray Wyatt, that it, Randy Orton was like, okay, this is creepy, but every turn, LA Knight's like, oh, I don't care. I'm a superstar. Who the hell are you? So, I mean, I don't think my opinion, it didn't showcase either person in I can't wait for the next match. Like LA Knight, okay, whatever. I think the whole LA Knight gimmick is stupid. I think if he come out and just does like he did in Impact as Eli Drake or whatever, or somebody else, it'd be better. But then Bray Wyatt, he's coming out and he's doing the whole, I'm a changed man, but don't make me get the inner side, like maybe do a little bit more play on that, and I'd be like, oh, this is cool. You know, kind of like back when Finn Balor would be Finn Balor, and then he'd be like, oh, nope, you get the demon. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and we got a glimpse of what that next evolution of Bray Wyatt is, because after Wyatt gets the win, we get a post-match beatdown that continues, but Wyatt, I don't even know exactly what happens, but the next thing we see is he's got this mask on his face, and he's literally doing the Jason Voorhees walk of terror as LA Knight's retreating, walking backwards. Gets to a stage area, right? And he's just walking. LA Knight's this highly tuned athlete, but he can't outrun Bray Wyatt in the gas mask. I mean, what?
Right.
Anyway,
Bray Wyatt's doing the I'm gassed, like, let me waddle over here and like just run, man.
So imagine you've worked 15 minutes, you're huffing and puffing, and now you got to put a mask on your face. And it looked like it did cover his nose. That's got to be ridiculously hard. Anyhow, they get to a stage area. Bray Wyatt kind of beats him up a little bit more, and then we see Uncle Howdy, which I know a lot of people are talking. They feel like it's Bo Dallas. That's cool and all, but he does this mind-boggling jump from the top of, I can only assume it's like a scaffold area, and what's supposed to be a twisting coffin drop just really looks like he just committed suicide, because he misses LA Knight and goes crashing through the stage, which great visual, but I mean, LA Knight, haha, low night. He's like 5 feet away from where you just landed. Not the best way to end that segment.
He
Not
rolled
the
into the hole. It's fine.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I'll land over here eventually.
But again, though, the safety bag worked just perfectly the way it's always been designed to do. Because if I remember right, you actually catch a glimpse of it. So.
Yeah, you do. You see it kind of expand out, which, I mean, I don't know if there's a way you can protect that or not. Maybe you just shoot a little higher so you don't see it. But
well, no,
like I said, it was interesting.
I just love when people talk about the safety bag. Like, we all know it's there. We watch this long enough. You know there's safety bags there. You know.
Yeah,
But,
I
it's a
think
big deal when somebody sees it. Yeah.
We're a long ways away from Mick Foley going off the cage to the concrete. Okay, sorry guys, it's not going to happen again. We're not going to get that moment again. And if you're really, really craving that, I'm sure there's a mud show out there in your hometown that's trying to kill each other.
Well, there's a reason why there's a reason why every time they jump off, they jump into cardboard boxes. What you think the cardboard boxes are surrounding?
Mm-hmm.
You know. I thought the coolest effect of the whole entire match is when they took out the announce table and all that yellow crap came flying out.
I thought that was cool. It was very smart, and it took advantage of the black light. I did like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
look, MVP is interviewing a whatever.
Basically, though, this whole match was a product tie-in. And I think for a product tie-in, it worked perfectly.
I was waiting for Bray to take a sip of the Mountain Dew Black. And spit it in his face or something. But it turns out we'd had to wait till the entire press conference was almost done to finally see somebody take a sip of the Mountain Dew Pitch Black. Any other final thoughts, guys, on this matchup?
No, I mean, for a product placement match, I think it was splendid. But for an actual wrestling match, I don't. Yeah, there was nothing to it. Nothing to write home about.
It was a lot better tie-in than that Ricky Potts guy or whatever they had, you know? What was that, a pizza place or something?
Oh, you talking about the guy with the pizza?
Remember a couple years ago they had the guy that was in the commercials, then he showed up. He's like, ah!
Oh, no, I don't remember that one. Put your feet on a couch? He ought to jump on it. He ought to jump on a couch, MVP.
You're going to trim up that hair, but you're going to make that beard look like you're homeless?
You could buy another one.
I like how they turned all the belts to Velcro and it gets tied up in the girl's hair. They're like, ah.
Next up's the Raw Women's Championship. We get Alexa Bliss challenging Bianca Belair. Honestly, I enjoyed the build-up to this match. I did not, let me say that again, did not enjoy this match at all. This was not their best showing. This is where we get the first glimpse, though, of Michelle McCool sitting at ringside with her little girls, which...
Because Michelle McCool would come to a wrestling event without her husband.
Right. Just random. Don't worry, she's not doing anything. She's just here with the kids.
The Undertaker is nowhere around.
Right. Of course not. I honestly was disappointed by this match. It didn't have to be Alexa Bliss winning the title, but I would have liked to have seen that. I just didn't think this match was very good, and they had the time. They gave them the time. It just, not so much.
I mean, I agree with you. It wasn't the best showing. Like, if they're going to do this whole transition for Alexa Bliss into the weirdo, creepy that she was back under Bray Wyatt, there was plenty of time in this match to transcend that as the match went on.
Right.
Like they could have had her kind of do some of that psycho stuff where she grabs her hair, or kicked her out of the ring and she couldn't have any offensive, and then they kind of do something and she comes back up and she's got the black marks on her face. But to do all that, then to have the stupid vignette at the end, I mean, what's the purpose?
Well, the vignette at the end, actually, I thought was kind of cool. Like I said, I mean, the build up to this has been, how is Alexa Bliss handling the provocation from Uncle Howdy? And I was okay with that. But the match supported none of it. And we saw none of the teases of how does she handle her insanity, quote unquote, whatever, right? We saw none of that. And as a matter of fact, holy cow. So Cody Rhodes' clip, by the way, from the beginning of Raw, 244,000 people have watched it already. Jesus. Anyway, I mean, the match itself just it didn't generate any interest for me. And as a matter of fact, it avoided all of the setup.
So let me ask you this.
It was the match to go to the concession stand.
Because this is, I'm pretty sure I think I've made this point somewhere along the way in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Can anybody remember the last time that there was a match with Alexa Bliss that they were excited over? Do you remember?
No, that's a fair
no.
question.
You know why? Here's why. She is a mediocre wrestler, or not mediocre. She is good enough to a point.
Mm-hmm.
But she's always been given those title shots because of certain things. And it's got nothing to do with the wrestling ability. And there are times you can see it in full effect that she doesn't belong in there with certain people. And then other times when you tailor make an opponent for her, she looks good. You don't see her with Becky. You don't see her with Charlotte. You don't see her with Bayley. Why? Because those are your top three. You put her in with Bianca, they match up size-wise. This might be pretty good. And Bianca out-wrestles her.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have how many months, 2 months build-up or 1 month build-up? And you fall flat on your face on the build-up. Great, we got a vignette after, but Rob is correct. Right? Somewhere during that match, she should have changed.
Right.
Pulling the hair, cheating, whatever it is.
Right.
You have to give that girl help. And you didn't do her no favors. Because that's definitely a match between two of your bigger names that you can legit be like, I could have done without that. You could have left that off the match. Matter of fact, when the DVD comes out, just leave it off. Don't even put an asterisk by it. Just leave it off.
In all of the prep for the match, Bliss is like, I'm the new face of evil, blah, 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 blah. Tell me a thing she did that was even remotely resembling a bad guy.
She growled.
Didn't pull the tights, didn't gouge the eyes, didn't, throw her outside. It was a face-on-face matchup. And what normally happens when two good guys fight?
Well, I don't even know if I'd call Alexa a good guy.
Well, I think
she's not supposed to be.
Yeah, she's not Alexa, right? The happy-go-lucky cheerleader. Mm-hmm. She's not that person no more. She's supposed to be teetering on the brink of insanity.
Right.
But she can't get it. And they should have learned from the last time she tried it, because that was some of the dumbest crap you'd seen on TV. When she was, the bad guy last time with Bray Wyatt.
Right.
But no, we don't learn her lessons.
Right. And I don't think they did her any favors by putting her on the shelf for, 6 months? Basically writing her off after when Bray Wyatt left or was released. And then they realized, oh, shit, we have nothing for her to do right now. Instead of putting her where she was good, like doing matches, they put her on the shelf. And then you throw her into this thing, and it's like, okay, she's supposed to be this good, bad, crazy. Nikki Cross does it hands down better than anybody right now.
Agreed.
And they don't give her the time of day. And that girl can wrestle anybody.
Because she doesn't look like Alexa Bliss.
Right.
They wanted so badly for her to look different that they changed her entire character and attitude to be Nikki ASH. They wanted so badly for her to be some kind of a comic book hero. And yes, that was a Vince call, but they tried so hard. Now they go back to Nikki Cross being insane, and everybody talks about her again.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know? Holy shit. It actually makes sense again. You couldn't have done it with Bliss, please? Again, she didn't have to win the title. I really don't care about her being champion. That doesn't have to happen. But not one time does she, like you guys said, doesn't pull the hair, doesn't gouge the eyes, does nothing as a bad guy, doesn't struggle. As a matter of fact, she doesn't struggle at all until the end when she's already lost after what I thought was actually kind of a sloppy KOD. But nonetheless, she loses. We get the "Do you feel in charge?" which, again, I thought that was kind of neat during Raw. Now, after this match, why are you even doing that?
Well, again, we're pushing something that should not be a slow burn. We're trying to get a slow burn out of this stuff.
Right.
I would not be shocked if they don't even get this done until WrestleMania.
Right. I don't think we'll find out who Uncle Howdy is or actually see Uncle Howdy until WrestleMania.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's a slow burn on a storyline that needs to be fast. Because you really should be pushing him to the top right now.
Because you're going to need
to the top.
You're going to need someone to, again, even if he doesn't win the title, you need someone to be next in line. Because Roman's going to take time off after he loses the title. I guarantee you. He's going to take time off.
Both titles, though.
He's going to make a movie, something, but he's going to take time off. So if you don't have people next in line, and they've done this so many times, Cody's going to fizzle. Mm-hmm. And we'll end up getting, and I said it could be good, and from a match perspective, it certainly could. But if Gunther wins your title, I know I said earlier in the show that could be a great match, and it could. But if Gunther wins your title, you've got a lot of work to do. Because even Sami Zayn, as crazy popular as he is right now, is not going to change that routine. And if Cody loses the title at SummerSlam, well, Bryan ends up being right. Because that's 6 months? Less than 6 months after he wins the title?
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, I still agree with you. I still think that's what happens. Much as I want to see Cody get that moment, I still think that's what happens.
I mean, again, not getting to what could happen, but they're not, based off of these two matches, people that should be being moved on the chessboard, moving forward on the chessboard, are going backwards. You have to make people believable as a contender. Bray and LA Knight, you didn't do it.
Right.
And again, you exposed Alexa in that match. You put her in there with somebody she shouldn't have been in there, and for whatever reason, it didn't come across right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, tell me, how many times has she fought Becky? How many times has she fought Bayley? How many times has she fought Charlotte compared to the rest of the roster?
No, and as a matter of fact, when getting to that run, especially Becky's run in 19, they made sure to keep Alexa at bay, not necessarily far away, but at bay, so that when she did have interaction, it was limited, and it made better sense then.
Yes, because if she climbs in the ring, and we can now throw Bianca into that. If she climbs in the ring with those four, she's exposed.
Right.
And it's like, people are going to hate this. People are probably going to be like freaking out right now. It's the truth. Go watch it with a clear conscience, and you will see there's a reason she shouldn't be in the ring with them four.
Yeah, they did her no favors by not giving her any kind of. Alexa is very much a character-driven story versus Bianca being the natural athlete. That's not to say that Alexa can't perform, but Alexa is a character more than she is an athlete. And it works when you do that. It doesn't necessarily work when you just have her go in there and say, okay, let Bianca call the shots. Because it's felt very much like that's how they did it. Bianca just basically called the match.
I mean, that goes back to like when they had the Divas and then they brought in like Lita. You know, like you had Sable versus Lita. Well, who's going to win that? You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
That's actually a good comparison.
It is a very good one. It's almost dead on.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's just, there's two different kind of feelings about it. That needs to, like Brian said, they catered people to certain people, and so there's no. Bianca just needs to move on. They need to move on to Bianca with, I guess Becky's going to be her next fight or some. Well, Becky's got to get through Bayley first.
Mm-hmm.
So, any final thoughts from that one? I think we've covered it pretty well.
Nope, I said what I said. I'm sticking to it.
Got it. Let's move on to the Women's Royal Rumble. We get a chance to see an opportunity to really, really grow a not a legacy, but a following for Rhea Ripley, because she has done really, really well from NXT all the way up. And she starts off at number 1. Liv Morgan starts at number 2. And I did not think that both would go the distance on this, but, it ended up working out all right. We got a lot of interesting parts and then not so much. Like Dana Brooke, I don't know what the purpose of having her in there was, but hey, you fired everybody else on the women's roster. Might as well put her in there.
Well, if it wasn't for NXT, they wouldn't have had a damn Rumble. So,
right. Shayna Baszler comes out at number 5, does literally nothing. Baszler is
Shayna Baszler to do anything.
Well, as accomplished as she was in NXT, they've done no favors for her. Very much like Alexa in that regard. They do
just
nothing
because your
to build
wife
her.
is in the room, stop sucking up.
It's funny because she's actually not. So, let's see. Emma enters the Rumble again. Great to see her come back, but done literally nothing. since getting her sign back. Bayley comes out, and now we start to see, I don't know, a change in the way the Rumble is going to go, because now we know that Damage Control is going to try to control the ring. B-Fab gets, I don't know, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute. I don't know, but she got eliminated pretty damn fast. Oh, I'm sorry. It was 36 seconds. My bad. She comes in, she goes out, and what we thought was kind of the bushwhacker spot. But we'd find out later that it was actually Chelsea Green who has re-signed with WWE to get that moment and to get an opportunity to have her Royal Rumble moment. Hey, look, Rick Boogs is back. I thought his name was...
That's the guy I was talking about. Because he was in that commercial, and then all of a sudden he became a, Anyway, go back to what you're saying. The world doesn't care about Rick Boogs.
Well, the fans are kind of eating it up. Some of them. Hard cam side not doing them any favors. Maybe just stick to the ones at the entranceway that like them. Let's see here. Candice LeRae comes out. I thought that it was a sad reaction for Candice LeRae. They didn't seem to really get into her coming into the ring. Natty Neidhart had a pretty cool outfit coming to the ring, playing homage to her dad. I'm straining here to find highlights. Zelina Vega comes out dressed up as, what do they call her? Jury? Anyway, a Street Fighter character, Street Fighter 6, which Zelina Vega will actually be highlighted as one of their characters at
I thought she was like commentating or something, or doing voice or something.
Maybe you're right. It's commentary. Yeah, it is. You're right. It's commentary that she did for. Is Rick Boogs wearing like Ultimate Warrior tassels on his legs? Is that what he really did?
Yes.
Okay. Well, this will suck. Let's see. Raquel Rodriguez comes down. She got a great hometown pop. People really seem to enjoy her. Lacey Evans, on the other hand, comes out, and the crowd could have cared less. They did to the Michelle McCool spot. We've already talked about that one like to death. And the one part of this that I really dug, I ended up having to watch later on in the night because I had missed it, was Asuka coming out and us seeing what WWE fans are now being introduced to, a reintroduction of Kana, the, I guess, what did Shane call it? The murder clown? Anyway, that was kind of a cool resurgence or a cool return for that.
Well, but so we have to see where it goes forward. Like
right.
a one-off is, and they have to explain it. If they don't explain it, like 75% of your crowd's not going to know why she changed.
Piper Niven, we talked about that one. Gets her. Yeah, that's right. Gets her name back. Congratulations, Piper Niven. I don't know what the hell you're going to do next because, out of 15, 20 women on the roster, they still only push the top 3. Nikki Cross comes out at number 29, sprinting to the ring the entire way. A lot of people gave her a shout out for her cardio on that one because that was a huge long ramp way. And we get to number 30, but you're a guy who's working in the back in WWE. You got the soundboard, you got the special effects, you got the countdown. It should be a pretty easy job. You hit the 10-second buzzer, and then at the end of that, you press the button for the 30th contestant for the Royal Rumble.
Contestant?
Contestant. 30th contestant. Say that 5 times fast.
You couldn't say it once.
I know. I can't even spell it.
So,
before the countdown even hits, we get the intro for number 30, the person no one wanted to see, Nia Jax. And by the way, how do I know no one wanted to see it? Because the entire stadium is booing the hell out of it, and you could see that it actually seems like it hurt Nia Jax's feelings.
Sure it did. I mean, look
What
at
a
when she got in the
boo-boo
ring.
face.
And look at when she got in the ring and was screaming, "This is my fucking house." No, sweetie, it's not. Nobody wanted you back. I mean, you're just a pawn right now. You're going to get booed. You're going to get talked about. I mean, that's what you get. You shouldn't be in the business.
She looked
Bye
like
bye.
she, and I'm not trying to be hating or nothing, but she didn't look like she was in, like, she had slimmed
Careful.
down before she left.
Yeah, she had. Okay, you know what? You're right. Absolutely. She did not look like she was in ring shape.
You know, I mean, where was the Glamazon?
I mean, she
Like,
came out and attacked Rhea Ripley before the Rumble.
right.
Hit
So you
her,
knew
hit
she
her
was
with a
there.
spear. Yeah, but we can't get her in the ring.
We got global warming because of that damn hair.
The 1980s called. They're very proud of you, Beth. Very good.
Like, Jesus.
That was straight out of a Whitesnake video, that hairdo.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the pacing of a women's Royal Rumble is so different than a men's. But that one just drug on way too long.
I also think they didn't do themselves any favors by having the entrance ramp so damn long.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, hell, by the time the person got in the ring, there was already another number. You know, it's like, okay, whoops.
Yeah,
I
I don't understand it.
It's not a hard job to wait until the time is right to hit the counter and then hit the music in the video. You press a button, buddy. You've got 3 buttons to press that entire time.
And it
You do
actually
it.
even does better for suspense if you let the countdown go and everybody's like, who's number 30?
Right.
And then then hit her music. You might get a reaction.
No, not with her.
No, I mean, I didn't like her when she was there.
Yeah, I think that's a constant between most fans. She wasn't needed or wanted. And that's sad to say, because I'm sure she really did seem like she was hurt by the response by the fans. We talk about the boo-boo face a lot when you see somebody that's not happy with what's getting ready to happen in the ring. Boy, did she have it. From start to finish, she just did not need to be there. And thankfully, she wasn't in the ring very long.
Yeah, but I mean, all you have to do is go back to when she's yelling, fuck this and fuck that at the crowd.
Yeah.
This is my fucking house. Yeah. No, sweets. Just let it go.
And
Just let it go.
somebody needs to also tell her that The Rock's daughter works for WWE now, so he's not going to do you any favors.
Might I add that Ava Raine, The Rock's daughter, is doing a pretty good job on NXT.
And I will say that I was proud. I was happy not to see her in the Rumble.
Me too. I don't think she's ready for that yet. She will get there, and she's doing the right thing by taking her time. The ending sees Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Asuka in a 3-way exchange. Asuka and Ripley and Liv all on the apron. Asuka goes for the mist. Ripley ducks. It nails Liv Morgan in the face. Ripley sweeps the leg out. Asuka goes to the outside. Now it's Ripley and Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan literally trying to blindly swipe at at Rhea Ripley and ultimately gets eliminated. I actually liked the ending of it. I kind of liked how they did it in the sequence. Ripley goes 62 minutes winning the Women's Royal Rumble. Great performance by her. And you know what? It wasn't a bad performance by Liv Morgan either. Still, the Women's Royal Rumble still remains to be one of those things that I could do without.
I don't know if I could. I like the thought that we're doing one, but somebody really needs to sit down and think it through.
Yeah.
Because Dana Brooke, like when she got in, it seemed like all the sail just like the wind went out of the sail.
Well, she was
And
trying to.
she was in it, what, 4 or 5?
Right. She was trying to do all her moves because what happened was they put her in and some people like that haven't had the TV time. So what they do? They use that time. Oh, wait a minute. I've got 15 minutes. I'm going to do all my moves. Her little, I'm going to go and I'm going to somersault to the ding, 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 ding. And then you get Natty coming back after, that was Shayna that took her out, right?
Yes, it was Shayna.
And so what happens? 10 minutes out, like 5 minutes after they boom, out of the ring. Done. So I just think it's like I was saying about the big spots. Everybody's got to do the fake almost I'm coming out. They've gotten the rumbles now to where everybody's got to hit their moves. Like you go back to Logan Paul being in the men's rumble, like doing all the weird shit, So yeah, I agree.
We get, after this Rumble is done, a rock concert. Wait.
Thank God.
It's a country singer.
My cable cut out and I didn't see it.
It's heavy metal.
No, it's rap. God damn, I have no idea what this guy's supposed to sing, and supposedly he's a star. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't understand it.
I mean, I guess he could be a star. Maybe it was the acoustics or whatever. But God damn, I'd ask for my money back. I mean, as soon as he walked back in the curtain, if I was Triple H, I'd be like, look, I'm going to need my paycheck back.
You just killed my crowd that I've been killing for the last match.
Yeah.
What
is this, a new look for Bailey?
What a task to have to bring the crowd back after that abysmal whatever the hell it was. I muted it. I didn't want to hear it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not listening to this.
Well, I mean, you're going to kill him anyway with a Roman Reigns match, so, I mean.
Went and walked the dog, got something to eat, came back, stupid ass was still singing. I mean, Jesus, no thank you.
I was never happier that my cable cut out. Peacock was like, "Oops, sorry, we've had a moment. Restart the program." Nope, I'm good. Click. I'm going to bed.
Oh, so you went to bed happy. You didn't have to watch Roman and Kevin Owens. Actually, I mean, no, I'm not going to lie.
Wait. You mean to tell me somebody mark this fucking time? January 30th, 2023.
Hello?
That I actually thought that end segment was very good TV. The whole thing. From the match. From the match to the end.
Brian, don't do drugs. Come on, buddy.
What was wrong with the
segment? The post-match was tremendous.
No. What was wrong with the match? What did I miss?
The fact that we've seen all of that before, that they did literally nothing different outside of the throwing into the steps, which was ridiculous. Oh, and the frog splash from the apron to the floor, and then the frog splash from the top. That was pretty cool, too.
But, I mean, don't you realize that most wrestling matches you've probably seen before?
Oh, stop. Okay. So that.
No, I'm just curious.
And all ideas have been done before, too, and none of the gimmicks are original. Okay, we can do that. That's fine. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, I mean, we're talking about supposed to be two of the best, right? Did we miss something where they're going to actually try something different, or did they just go, yeah?
So what? I'm just curious. Don't get offended here. Because
no, I'm not offended.
I'm just happening to disagree with you. But you see the same matches all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, legit, they are talking about how they did the exact same spot in WrestleMania 14 between so and so, and it's now in this match. Like, people are picking up on that. And some matches you're not even paying attention to. Maybe was your expectations high, or were you mad that the tribal chief pulled off? That's what it is. I have ruined you to the point that you were so sour on the tribal chief.
Wow.
You're a tribal chief that you can't be happy for the win.
Wow. I think what I was hoping for out of this match would have been similar to their last man standing match. Only improvements in different parts.
But the last one, he was like sitting on the ground for like 20 minutes.
He didn't have a choice. He got kicked in the balls. He's supposed to sell it for 20 minutes.
And Paul dropped the key.
That's a 10 count. Yeah, that's a standing 10 count. He's sitting on the ground for 20 minutes.
Oh, it's because they were in Tropicana Field or wherever, and that's a different counting over there, I guess. I don't know.
They're using new math. That's what it is.
The space-time continuum.
Right. We're the multiverse now. I mean, it wasn't like a horrible match. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was all right, I guess. It's just
I got it. You were expecting like something great.
Yeah, I really was. I was expecting something kind of epic because they've had. I mean, every matchup they've had before wasn't bad. It actually was figuring we were going to just see a step up. That's all.
But let me ask you this. If they went out there and put on, what's Kenny Omega normally get? 7.5 star match, whatever.
Well, that's because him and Smeltzer have a deal.
Okay, whatever. Let's say they went out there and put on a 7.5 star match.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize that probably would have diminished the end segment?
You know what? That's interesting. I can see your logic there.
Because literally, you knew it was coming, right? And I knew that was coming. Like, it was going to happen. Sammy was going to do something to get dropped, right? But that segment just had such raw emotion in it. You couldn't help but watch it.
Well, you had to, because you didn't know when is Sammy going to take a step.
Right.
And so you're like, is it going to happen during the match? Is it going to happen after? Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Like, you knew it was going to happen, and you were just watching and waiting for it. Do you not think that maybe that detracted from the match? Because for me, I kind of kept up with the storyline. I haven't really watched WWE programming except for what do they call not pay-per-views? What do they call them now?
Premium live events. Get it right. You better get used to it, because, sir, you're back.
Yeah. So I've only watched a few of them, right?
Yeah.
And I've just kind of kept up with some of the storylines. I have kept up with the Tribal Chief one because that's a really big one. And I'll have to admit, there are times during the match I waited. I was like, oh, this is perfect time for Sammy to turn. Or this is perfect time for him to go and swipe Kevin's leg and actually catch Roman's leg. Or, swing the chair and hits him. Or, does something to Paul accident. You know what I'm saying? I was watching that. But at the same time, I was trying to keep track of the match. But I didn't think the match was that bad. Like, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah. I just wish they wouldn't have wasted the turn on no payoff. You know what I mean?
Oh, there was a definite payoff.
Like, I was expecting, like, all right, you knew Sammy was going to turn at some point.
Yeah.
But I expected Sammy to come.
Oh, man. Skype does not like Rob right now.
Oh, you get booted?
No, he's there. It's just his Skype is screwing with him bad.
Oh.
Keeps dropping me.
Okay, there he is.
And if you're not paying attention to Raw, Bailey just basically told Becky the only reason Rollins married you is because he knocked you up.
Damn! Holy crap. Okay. Hello, Attitude Era. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was
All
mine
right.
before he was yours.
Damn.
But I mean, the whole purpose for that match last night was to get you to the finish line
Yeah.
of what happened after.
The way this plays out, Roman hits like 3 different spears. Owens kicks out. Finally, he's had too much. He can't take anymore. He gets speared, gets the pin. And it all's right with the bloodline, right? Sammy's throwing the one up. Everybody's celebrating. They're all putting the red lays on. And before they can put it on Sammy, Roman stops him. He says, "No, we got more to do." And then they continue to beat the shit out of Kevin Owens. So much, in fact, they handcuff him to the top rope and beat the dog snot out of him. Then Roman grabs the chair, and he's getting ready to lay him out. This is the magic moment, because they teased it and teased it and teased it. He had so many shots, just like Brian described, during the match. But now it's the moment of truth. Sammy jumps in front of him. "This is beneath you," he says. "You don't need to do this," he says. Roman's like, "You know what? You're right." Turns his back and he hands him the chair. Or he turns to the side and hands him the chair. Basically, you do it. That's what he's telling him. You do it. You put him out of his misery.
And he's pie facing him.
Yeah. And I mean, he is not just telling him to do it. He's pie facing him. He's screaming at him. "We gave you everything. He's done nothing but treat you like shit." Everything that they could think to say. You know, Roman's like, "We picked you up after you did that Knoxville shit." And you can hear this, by the way, on the feed. You can hear this on camera. And he's just screaming at him. And it builds up. Finally, Sammy's like, all right, I'll do it. Okay. And he rears back to swing the chair. Roman's like, "You're in for it now." He's in KO's face, and bam. And it's like 2014 all over again. The chair shot heard around the world, smashes into Roman's back. And it literally, he sells it just like when Seth did it to him back when the Shield broke up. And you'd think they could have cut it off right then and there. But I really liked that they didn't. I really, really liked that they gave Sammy his moment, and then we got to see basically what we expected. Only it wasn't exactly like we expected. Like, we figured it's just the entirety of the bloodline would just basically lay both of them out, and that'd be it. But what we got to see just an entire ripple effect, because now that Sammy has shown that he can stand up for himself, now suddenly Jey Uso's conflicted. And Jey bails. But we still get to see Sammy get the snot knocked out of him. KO continues to get the crap beat out of him. And that's how it ends. With Roman saying, "We're at war." And that's it. I thought this was a solid ending. I really, really did. I didn't like the match as much, but this ending was the ending we need to get to WrestleMania.
So again, I'll differ on the match because I actually enjoyed the whole thing, right, from start to finish last night. And maybe it was coming on the heels of, what came before, but I actually enjoyed the whole kit and caboodle. Now,
Can't help but feel good after watching Hardy, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not really vested in the whole WWE right now. Again, this is the first time I've watched Raw since I pretty much said I'll be back in 6 months. And I haven't watched SmackDown, again, so I'm not vested in it like people are, but they pulled it off so well, even though you knew it was coming. There was emotion, and then when who was it, Jay, that walks away, there's more emotion, and you're like, wait, I didn't see that coming. But I honestly can't wait till they get to WrestleMania and Sammy, You find out it's a big work. Sammy's
Oh my
double
God.
crosses Kevin Owens for real.
So
I hope that's how it works out or something.
So there's that, or there's the, Jey Uso is in the corner of Sammy and Kevin as they challenge for the tag titles, because there's going to be some kind of crazy weird road there, and then Jey turns and goes back to the bloodline. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm figuring happens, because Roman has done such a great job character-wise in mental manipulation of his team. Like, he beats him up and wins his matches, yeah, whatever. But it's I'm the head of the table. I'm doing this to provide for the family. Very much like Ted DiBiase did with Virgil. And that's what it reminded me of with Sammy hitting him in the back with a chair. It reminded me so much of when Virgil broke away from DiBiase. Now here's to hoping that Sammy does a whole lot better than, fuck money Virgil.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that was your thoughts, or the fact that you compared Sami Zayn to Virgil. Like,
Skype
honestly, as high
comment.
as this podcast is going on the charts, I would be highly offended if I was Sami Zayn and had to listen to I'm Virgil? What?
Yeah,
what?
I mean, I literally hope it's a double cross. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's Cody gets the match at WrestleMania, and Cody and Sammy and Kevin have all hooked up, and then Sammy is again the one that sticks the dagger right in Cody's back or something.
Oh my God.
I'm just hoping for a double cross with this one.
Could you see that? Cody finally is on the verge of winning the big one, winning the title. Sammy is in his corner to keep the bloodline at bay, and
Sammy turns
nut shot after a ref bump.
Listen, I mean, we all have to look at this, right? When Sammy joined the bloodline, like his stock rose so high. Yeah, you could legit make him world champ right now, and people would buy right into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have Roman versus Sammy Friday night on SmackDown. Sammy wins, and me, for forever I've been like, well, who's going to beat him? He's just trounced everybody else. Sammy would be the one guy I'm like, no, this makes sense that Sammy wins and beats him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could believe Sammy could beat him and make it look good. But to have Sammy stick Cody in the back, Sammy's would score to unprecedented heights. Like, he would become the biggest fucking jackass the WWE has ever seen. And he could write his ticket to whatever he wanted. And then just they embrace afterwards. You know as well as I do, you're picking up something and you're slinging it at that TV.
I know for me, it would be one of those really difficult moments, because I would enjoy the fact that they got everyone. Because everyone is expecting Cody to win the title. So yeah. And then I would be mad. I'd be like, God damn it, he got me again.
Yeah. You know as well as I do. I'm telling you, you know as well as I do, you're grabbing your coffee mug and you're slinging it across the goddamn room.
And that's the thing, and that's why I was glad that Sammy wasn't in the Rumble, because it would have confused things. And here's the thing. The latest reports that are coming out is at Elimination Chamber, which I can't believe it, but it's 2 weeks from Saturday. Elimination Chamber, guess who gets the shot at Roman?
Sammy
freaking Zayn.
Yeah, and see, again, you could have him win and people are going to buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was a lot of rumor coming into the Rumble that The Rock was going to be there. But then, of course, it turns out Rock is way too busy. He told some folks he couldn't get into ring shape on time or whatever, which I think was Yeah, apparently he said somebody puts out there that he claimed he couldn't get into shape in time for the match, which we all know
The
is
man
Did,
stays in shape.
yeah,
yeah,
right.
do
He
none of
like
y'all?
literally lives as a brick shit house. I mean, the guy's
Yeah,
huge.
nobody has him on Facebook. Like, what?
If
What?
that's not
What
ring
better
shape, I
shape
don't
does
want to
he
see what
need?
ring shape. As I'm watching
Yeah.
Bronson Reed come to the ring, right? See, what I would love to see is some like Sammy scheming, like you all said, you know, like somewhere in the contract he helps Cody along the way, he helps get the contract signed and everything, and then Cody wins at Mania, and then the next night at Raw they're standing there and Cody's got both belts, and then he hands the belt to Sammy, and Sammy like looks at it and he goes, "Well, you never looked at the contract, did you? You know
I mean,
what?
I'd like to see something like that.
Like what do you mean? Well, the contract stated that you won the Universal title, but if you won, I got this title. Like so
That
technically,
actually
thank
would
you.
be that would be hilarious.
You
Actually,
know,
I'd kind of dig that. That's kind of cool.
but kind of that way you have your WrestleMania moment with Cody, but then the next night you do a typical Vince and be like, ow.
Well, and the thing of it is with Sammy, so they're going to be in Montreal for the Chamber. By the way, Sammy is from Montreal, so it's going to be the loudest reaction Sami Zayn has ever gotten in his life. It's going to be pretty ridiculous. Um, it's at the point now where you could almost, and I keep drawing the parallel because that's what I see it as. You could almost book this almost exactly like you did at WrestleMania 30 and have it as a triple threat where Roman's defending both titles. And if you remember WrestleMania 2000 where the Intercontinental title and European title were on the line, and if you got the first pinfall, that you won one title, and if you got the second, you got the other. Honestly, you could see that happen at Mania. I think that's a possibility.
I'd much rather see the winner take all
Yeah.
than you win one, you get this title. You win the other, you get this title. I'd much
Yeah.
rather see a winner take all. And again, Sammy to just fucking help her. I would be dying.
Or Jay come out and low blow Roman, for Sammy.
Well, so I think the Jay is too obvious. That Jay is actually like still a bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you're
Mm-hmm.
never going to get the tag titles off of them if they don't defend them.
Yeah, you're never gonna see Sammy coming if you can pull a double on him. Nobody in their right mind would ever see that coming.
Well, I mean, here's to hoping that makes for incredibly entertaining TV because that
Oh
will
yeah,
be the most talked about moment of Mania if they do it like that, which
because
isn't a
I
bad
just
move.
want to hear you slam your goddamn coffee mug. I want you to tell me the next morning you were
Not that
right.
90-inch flat screen TV he's got on the wall.
I'm gonna say I'm
Well,
not trying to bust my television.
them Cowboy fans were doing a lot of TV busting. If they can do it, you can do it. It's just going to be funny. You're just going to react. You're just going to sling the shit and smack the TV.
Stan's going to be that guy that start taking his collection and start throwing it over the balcony. Like, no! How dare you take that Shayna Baszler figure and hang it over the balcony?
Bronson, cool with the face, bro.
Right, like
Okay.
we don't need that shot. That's not okay. We get it. You're a big guy and you're scary.
Yeah.
Cool, I guess.
And the cool thing is, you're not going nowhere. You're not climbing up the road, the ladder. You're going to be kind of probably mid card because that's how they do with certain people. The talented people, that's where they stay.
Well, that's
The
what
talented.
that's what Dolph's telling him. Hey man,
Mm-hmm.
it's your turn now.
What is
Oh,
it?
Giving
he's
him
in.
nothing.
What is it?
Really?
Miro said, "Bury me softly, brother."
Wow, look at that elimination chamber. Theory, Seth Rollins, Gargano, and Reed. Really?
I guess the last two qualifiers are going to be on SmackDown.
It'll probably be Kevin, and somehow Kevin will get one, and Sammy will get one.
There it is.
Because Cody doesn't need the Elimination Chamber.
And I don't think they're
he's
gonna
already
risk
gotten
it
his
with Cody.
shot.
I think
Do
they'll
what?
have him in matches, but they'll have him protected till Mania.
Yeah.
Well, we still got Cody and Finn Balor tonight. That could be interesting.
I mean, if you let Finn Balor wrestle and let Cody do what Cody's been doing, yeah. But if you bring out Dom.
Well, you know that's going to happen, and then isn't AJ Styles hurt?
Yeah, he's got a broken ankle, unfortunately.
So I'm sure Gallows and Anderson will come out to protect him, which will bring out Mia Yim or whatever she goes by now. And so now you'll be, if Balor's group comes out, then Cody will have backup.
One thing that's important is I bet USA is glad they have a whole season of Chris Lee Knows Best in the can. So now they've gone to prison, they can't. At least we still got a new season.
I can't believe you just said that. The Chrisleys, leave the Chrisleys alone.
Well, I like the fact in the ad that shows them in a house. And my first thought was, I wonder if they finished it.
For their sake, I hope so. It won't sell very well while they're in jail if they hadn't. Oh man, so that's the Royal Rumble. We got a lot of road to cover. No, you're fine. Got a lot of road to cover. I think we've got a lot of room to see what happens here at Mania. We got 2 weeks from Saturday, Elimination Chamber. Right now, the only confirmed matches are 2 Elimination Chamber matches. One for the U.S. title, another for the right to face Bianca Belair at the WrestleMania. Easy for me to say. Coming up this week on February 1st. Go ahead.
Come out. I'm lost. So the Elimination Chamber, that's for the U.S. title?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm back in it now. Okay.
Okay. He's ready. He's good to go.
Then why is the U.S. Oh, never mind. I was like, why is the U.S. champion? And then I'm like, duh. Sorry.
It's all right, buddy. It's all right. Coming up this week, Wednesday, February 1st, we've got AEW presents Dynamite TNT Championship No Holds Barred match. Darby Allin champion is defending against Samoa Joe, the Ring of Honor Championship TV champion. We got Takeshita against Brian Cage. The Acclaimed will be there. Jon Moxley against Hangman Page. TBS title on the line as Red Velvet challenges Jade Cargill, and I am really looking forward to this next one. Bryan Danielson against Timothy Thatcher. If they do this right with Thatcher, what a damn coup. Because that's just so good. And you can do anything you want with him. You can put him on Ring of Honor. You could keep him on AEW. Just hell of a signing. It's a packed show.
If you say so, man.
Okay. You just want a Thatcher figure.
There's no damn CM Punk. It's not that packed.
Not yet.
Or when's the next time they're in Chicago? We're going to start them goddamn rumors.
So are you going to wear a CM Punk shirt every day till he shows up again?
I've only got 2 CM Punk shirts. So
that's them mediums.
Nah, I can't wear those.
Because they keep rolling up like cheap blinds.
It's not fair. It's not fair to everybody else.
Hey. CM Punk fan, and you're letting us down. Go out there and get you some new shirts. That movie looks good too, by the way.
Is that the Dave Bautista movie?
That makes me never want to use Verbo or Airbnb ever.
And supposedly, like the majority, for fuck's sake, the majority of the Guardians of the Galaxy cast is coming to DC, right?
No, I didn't know that. But welcome back to
Yeah.
WWE. Now you get to see Carmella.
Where's Corey Graves? Where's his mouth at?
Well, you've probably
So
got it
she's
muted,
back.
rightfully so.
Now, okay, she would have gotten a bigger pop last night as a entrance in the Rumble than, let's say, Nia Jax.
Yeah, probably so.
Uh-oh. No, she did. You better stop saying that. You better stop saying that. Monet is
wait.
money.
No, that's Monet.
That's what I said. Monet is money. Monet.
What is that's a different look for Asuka.
Yeah, this is the I run the brothel. Come get you a massage.
What the hell?
You want a special favor?
Oh my god.
That's
gross.
that's
Could have
good.
did without that.
Oh my
flesh
God,
drop.
here he goes. Let's hear what words of wisdom he's got to say about Carmella being back.
The most beautiful woman in WWE. There you go. I just told you what he said.
Where's Michael Cole when you need him?
In the back going, shut up, Graves.
Damn, that was nasty. That was at WrestleMania when he got hurt?
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Damn. Well, good for him, beating up the Miz.
In a $10,000 double-breasted suit.
$10,000, I doubt. But okay, so before we close out, final grade for Royal Rumble. Rob, what do you got?
I would say the Rumble was a C.
Ooh, okay. Brian, your grade for the Royal Rumble?
Good start. Good finish to the Women's Rumble. Great main event and that whole thing. I give him like a B-.
Stan.
I think I agree with you. Good start. Women's Rumble had a nice finish. We could have did without the stupid rock concert, whatever the hell that was supposed to be. Main event wasn't my favorite, but the end of the show, the way they did that closing segment was pretty smart. I give it a B. There you have it. Our Royal Rumble review. 2 weeks from Saturday's Elimination Chamber. We'll start our run for predictions on that here probably next week as we get more of a developed card. Dynamite this week as well with some great matches, and we are almost to what's next? Revolution, I believe, is what's next. Or is it Full Gear? I think it's Full Gear. Damn it.
Mm-mm.
I hate that I can't remember the calendar yet.
I think it's Revolution.
So we definitely have a lot of ground to cover between now and the next major pay-per-view for AEW. I'm still not clear outside of Danielson and MJF what the rest of the build's going to be, but that's the cool part of being a wrestling fan is you have to tune in, you have to watch.
I think somehow or another we'll get like Mox and Page and some crazy ass stipulation match. No more chain matches. We've seen enough. They're brutal.
Dog collar match?
People get hurt in them things.
Stadium match.
Lights out match? I don't know.
No,
I know.
Then
a barbed wire exploding death match.
Yeah.
No, they're going to have the Mountain Dew Baja Blast match.
Be a lime green flavor. Who knows? We'll be back next week to talk about everything else that's happening in the wrestling world. Thank you so much for listening. And thanks for all your help with downloads and spreading the word about Corner to Corner. You can always catch up with us on Twitter at C2C Radio Show. Catch up with Rob at Rob Hefner C2C. Catch up with Brian at Vlad Dragul C2C. That's VLAD DRAGOOL C2C.
And
blah, blah, blah.
And if I can interject myself here for a second, I would just like to say, as always, It's been your pleasure.
And you can catch up with me at Stan Grub everywhere. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next
Isn't
time.
that what
right
you
here.
used to say?
I think that's what Rob used to say.
No, I think that was you. That was your little, what we call it, showstopper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
Phase.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
That was the brush.
That
with
and
greatness,
the
but that's
on
okay.
the
Oh yeah, yeah. As
Vector of the
always, your
ones and
this
twos.
Brussman's greatness is over. That's right.
Yep. And of all people, freaking Sean goddamn Stasiak. Son of a
Yep.
bitch.
That's how we're closing shows from now on, Rob. You're gonna alternate. Their brush with greatness with us is over.
Yep, Stan. You can't. You won't have another brush with greatness until next Monday.
Well, I guess
Same
there you
place
have
you
it.
can get all your podcasts. And until next time.
You're not gonna say bye.
Yeah, is he over? Like,
He says
did he just
until next
cut
time, and
off?
then it's just dead.
His delivery leaves a lot to be desired, I guess.
And
I thought it actually cut out. I was like, did it
I
just
did
cut
too.
off?
Actually, I thought maybe he dropped.
What perfect timing.
Well done, Rob.
Well, when it dropped before, it was like Brian goes, and let me tell you, and then it goes. I'm like, what? Hello?